Привіт, друзі! З вами Торстейн і я вітаю вас у зовнішніх світах. Наразі ми знаходимось на планеті Монарх у Stellar... як він там називається? Stellar Bay, так. Це то саме місце, звідки виловлюють того тунця і пересилають на Edgewater, на перше місто, де ми були. Так, давайте подозбируємо квести, які тут... Ух ти! Це вже щось цікаве. Подозбируємо квести, які всі тут можна зібрати, і будемо їх потихеньку виконувати. По мірі можливості. Що це мені залізти сюди? А, блін. Будемо досліджувати кожен закуток. Ух ти! Це цікаво. А, це я просто по колу обійшов, виходить. Не можна сюди. А, ясно. Ну, давайте ще цей. Блін, знову колос. Сраний колос, блін. Він досить больно б'ється. Так. І немає бочок, хіба що до цієї він добіжить і ми його підірвемо. Ох, ніфіга собі. Та ти шо, блін? Терешачок. Ну, є. Це було пафосно і епічно. Оце мені подобаються такі розклади. А нахера тут цей спуск? Що там ніфіга немає. Це лишається загадкою. Ладно, понишпорю спочатку тут. Що, тут ніхрена нікуди зайти не можна, ага. А, о, можна. Можна. Дохлий мародер. Так. Да, щим, а з набоями тут навіть на високій складності проблем ніяких взагалі немає. Проблема тут є лише з місцем, блін, куди це все складати, йо-моє. 415. А в них там які такі, да, такий самий. Ну, з цим зрозуміло. Ерунда. 247, йолки. Ай, цей вогнемет теж не будуть вони юзати, походу. Мені подобається, як вони справляються з цими кулеметиками своїми. Знов срана ніч. Так, тут можна переспати чи ні? Дайте мені ліжко. Херушки. Дідько. Ну тобі, блін. Та ти шо, блін, оце, блін, да. Ха. Alright, але я не бачу ніфіга, блін. Темрява. Довбана. Щось така знайома церква, як в цьому, блін, в Еджвотері. Відмичок вже хоч жопою жуй. Ха-ха, прикольно. Скелетончик. Так. Знову ми перебрали вагу. Це не дивно. О, можна кімарнути. Я зараз це і зроблю. Спочатку порозбираємо. Поремонтуємо. Ніфіга собі, нормально так. Ха-ха, вага 0. Прикольно. А, що, вже ранок? Що? Як це так? Щось ніхрена не зрозумів. Не зрозуміло, як тут дивитись час доби. І це дуже хірово буде. Ну, походу ранок настає, да. Світає. Вони що хочуть сказати, що я тут був? Я тут не міг бути. О, дирка. Дирочка. Ця тварюка прогризла. На, не був. Перші двері. Йолки, бля, аж злякався.
What an unexpected surprise! Please, come in. Come in.
Come in.
We're armed to the teeth? What's he gonna do? Kill us with generosity?
That's the spirit. Now come in. Make yourselves comfortable. Excellent. You've arrived at just the right time. My wife is putting the finishing touches on dinner. Please, make yourself at home until it's ready.
I think I just lost my appetite.
Так. Блін, як тут до хрена ще всяких локацій. Може це спробуємо. Дідько, все ж таки доводиться туди йти. Так.
Please, will someone help me? My boy. Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak.
Раптидон. Знайдем твого
Oh,
сина.
I just knew you were a good person. Agnes, I said, this is the woman to save your little ducky. And I was right. He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the raptidons, mantisaurs, and marauders, the toxic sulfur pools and poisonous plants, but he didn't listen.
Oh, law, Captain. A youngster won't last long in a place like this. Please, can't we help?
Please, won't you go and find
Та
my
нема
boy?
питань, Агнес, ти що?
Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able
Да,
to
якщо
fetch
він
him
ще
home.
живий.
You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest
Amber
of town.
Heights.
I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
Так, з цим зрозуміло. Ще позбираємо квестиків. Трохан.
Wrap musk and canid eyes, right here. Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in raptidon tongue? Or maybe some canid toenails? You look like a woman who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts. I don't know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I thought maybe I was onto something.
Mr. Pickett? Franklin Pickett from Edgewater?
That's him. He'd been here years, but he always talked about going back to Edgewater one day. She works for Sanjar at MSI. She's also Stellar Bay's biggest collector of canid incisors. And I should know, because she buys them from me. He came to Stellar Bay years ago, just before the board cut us off. Ended up stuck here. He was always real interested in our monsters. Mantiqueens, especially. Sure, they're real big. Hard to miss them.
Це точно, я таку завалив одну. З великими труднощами.
Well, I could send you to the same place I sent Mr. Pickett. But I haven't seen him in a few weeks. To tell true, I'm starting to get a bit worried about him.
Captain, can we look for him? I'd feel awful if somebody from home was in trouble and we didn't do nothing.
Tell you what, I'll tell you where I sent Mr. Pickett if you promise to look for him. Help him out if he's got himself in trouble. Fair deal?
Thanks, Captain.
All right then. Leave town through the southern gate, the one right here, and head past the abandoned ruins. Last mannequin I saw was in the wilds out that-a-ways. Could be Mr. Pickett still out there too. Oh, good. Celia hasn't come by in a few days, so I haven't sold much.
Тю, блін. 16% со старта. Знижка. Та ну, нахер оно мені. О. Братишки, блін. Там є дуже хороша штука. Без палива. Так, там був. Тут не був. Блін, скільки тут. Здоровенне місто. Що, хто кричить? Ти?
I think I'm gonna be sick. No! I just stepped in a dead man's blood. And I think one of the flies landed on my mouth. If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the right. That's where the body is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go contemplate a hot shower.
Будемо розслідувати вбивство якесь. Це ти про яку хату? Ага, сюди походу. Цих автоматів, блін, тут понатикали. Мешканець. О, ручний кулемет мод 2. Це ж такий самий, да? Чи ні? Ну-ка, 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 Фелікс. Да. Все зрозуміло. Привіт.
Got any news from the rest of Halcyon?
Привіт, привіт. Тут нічого немає. А, оце воно, да?
Sorry. Just spooked me, was all.
A murder? Hey, is this the part where we go hunting for clues?
Нікого немає. Шукаю уліки, блин. Все в кишеню, а вон, мабуть. Мабуть, це воно, да, точно. Точно. Ну, блін. Прям детектив Коломбо, йолки-палки. Так, і що? А всі знайшов уліки чи ні? Цікаво. Цікаво знати. Чи ще десь щось запхане десь, блін. Ну-ка, подивимось. Сімейна справа, да? Ні, це не то. Во, оце воно. А домашні таємниці де? А, ну зразу зайдемо їх. Зробимо. Мешканець. Це не цікаво. Лаура. І що, Лаура? Я за адресою вірною прийшов. Коротше, якась детективна історія. Походу. Лаура тільки рачки стала, блін. Ну, повертайся. О, які губки. Блін. Що це, може, її не треба було чіпати? Ну, знайшов я цю квартиру, і що далі? Де маркер? А, все, на вихід, домашні таємниці. Так, це ясно. Сімейну справу давай. Тоже на вихід. Блін. А ще решта квестів. О, є. Давайте цей спочатку зробимо. Все тут по місцю зробимо, потім підемо вже за територію. Адрено. О, оце мені подобається. Такі ящички. Нормально так затарився. Вже і адрено заберемо наш лишат. Вибач, чувак. Так. Ладно, не буде перезагружатись. Тупанув я, блін, не побачив, що там відкрита брама, там двері. Ну то таке. Все, йдемо. Нел. Щоб всіх NPC обійти. Ну, а ці таки небагато коштують апгрейди на броню. Ладно.
Whoa, by the stars, my poor heart. I just about pissed my jumpsuit. Most people don't.
We're used to folks swooning at our feet. You don't gotta be embarrassed.
A healthy survival reflex is nothing to be embarrassed about. Besides, this place is enough to try anyone's nerves. Where should I begin? With the oversized mantisaurs? Or perhaps the rat spewing acid at our walls? The board was right. This place isn't fit for human habitation, and I was a fool for staying. Sanjar, of course. He had all these glorious ideas about how he'd run Monarch. Rest periods between every work shift. No shift more than 10 hours long. It all sounds wonderful, until you realize there's only a few centimeters of repurposed steel between you and the deadliest creatures in the galaxy. I could do with a few kilometers of cold vacuum, but that spaceship is flown. Only every day. But in case you haven't noticed, we don't exactly get ships on a regular basis, yours notwithstanding. And even if I did scrape together enough to buy passage out with sublight, which would mean reaching Fallbrook without getting eaten, shot, or dissolved into green goop, what then?
Да, ці тварі такі потужні тут.
Nothing. That's what. Because MSI is not in what you'd call good standing with the board. So even if I could get out of here, no one's gonna hire me. Even talking about it has my blood pressure up. I've really gotta stop.
Бувай, чувак.
Lucky you.
Кому щастить, мені чи що? О,
Good day to you.
що це можна вскрити? Та ладно. Спалять же ж зразу. Миттєво. Не буду навіть намагатись. О, а оце я вскрию точно. Ага. Ничка. Це не дивно. О, он доще. Походу. А туди як? Як в цьому, блін, як в Дюкі Нюкіни, блін. А, фак! Чуть не впав, блін.
Great work.
Оп. О! Що це, навіть квестова ничка? Ніхера собі так може бути. О, печалька, а ні, нормально.
Nice.
Да, я із своїми навичками вскривання замків вже де хоч пролізу. Блин. Та заберем ще й цю штуку. На що вона їм? Мені нужніше. О, взлом плюс 7. Оце, до речі, мені треба було нещодавно. Марк 3. Офігеть. Офігеть. Короче. Так. Броня 10, технологія плюс 5. Ну, вибір очевидний. Блін. Знов перебор. Да що ж таке, блін, як мене це напрягає, блін. Ніяк я не можу позбутись цього мотлоху свого, блін. Так, що там за квест нам зарахували, до речі? Цей? Давайте знову подивимось. Так, ясно. А, во, оцей з'явився. О, туди ми і підемо.
Well,
Ух
well.
ти,
The only new
яка
folk I ever
азіаточка.
see in town are sublight runners from Fallbrook.
Прикольно.
But you don't look like one of Catherine's. What can I get you?
А, це тупо
If you don't
торгаш.
see it, I don't got it. Don't go asking for the special reserve.
І що в тебе є цікавого? Це така, як в мене, походу. 99, да. Мені треба Марк 2 цю гвинтівку. Вскривання замків плюс 5. І ніфіга не важить, до речі, можна її взяти. Коротше, ладно, цих торгашів треба буде потім обійти. Так, а зараз нам треба на квест.
You look like a...
А, я вже з тобою балакав. До побачення. Сюди, типа. О, Ніока, ух ти! Ой. Схожа на... як забув з 5-го елементу. Забув, як звали дівчину. Знайшов я Ніоку. Походу, вона буде моєю спутницею останньою. Команда буде у повному составі, складі. Що, з нею спочатку побазаримо? Чи з Моргайром цим? Магуайр.
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in
Чувачок.
Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger.
Дякую.
Enjoy. If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
I could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you?
О,
Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka, on account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you? Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the iconoclasts or some such. Bunch of marauders broke into the executive compound, slaughtered everyone. Corporations pulled out of Monarch not long after. I thought everyone knew. But then that was 10 years ago. Still feels fresh to us every time we look at our walls, though. But it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all. Nope. But a man can dream.
Самі торгаші кругом. Тільки я не можу зрозуміти, звідки в мене знижка взялась тут.
And
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account
Бля,
of
вона
his
якась
blood.
алкашка, що? Та ну нафіг.
All over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you? Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you? Outstanding.
Блін, алкашка. Не хочу я таку в команду. Угу.
Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head. Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set.
О,
Well, they work. We got a deal or what? Perfect. Give it here.
ніхрена собі 15 штук. Бля, алкашка ще й наркоманка, да що ж таке?
Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes. We're in business. Let's go.
А, точно. Welcome to my party.
Great. Where to? Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun.
І що, вона вже буде третя в мене, чи що?
That's fun.
Чи я зараз когось поміняю на неї?
Rotting River will take you into the mountain caverns. We can discuss options when we get closer.
Та я не хочу міняти.
Three's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
Ай, так. Да, блін, точно, треба міняти. Та ну нафіг.
I hope you like being part of our crew, Nyoka. We're real excited to have you.
A ship? Well, look at you. I'll find a
Точно.
spot there to call my own for now.
Все це повна
Find me when you're
команда.
ready.
Чудово. Але, походу, цей квест тільки з Ньокою можна виконати, я так розумію. Це не дуже добре, блін. Ось сраний стул. Блін, все-таки кроваве, блін, якесь непонятне. Ого, чуваки. Якийсь наркоділер, блін. І що, я сюди можу зайти навіть? Так, Парваті, ти не йди сюди. Я тут зараз без вас впораюсь.
All right. Hushing up.
Все. Втіхаря.
New face, huh? You from off-world? A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell and revel with us?
By the smell, he's been reveling enough for you both already.
Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking. It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much as they used to. Our supervisor Velma goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch. We're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay. Sure thing. What did you want to discuss?
Що це може, блін, збрехати йому? Цікаво.
If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe you'll fare better. The others wanted to blackmail her, but we're above that. Besides, them are just rumors. We got no proof they're true. I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that Velma's taking a cut off the profits. So far, it's just gossip, you know, but if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon. Nope. I'm calling her bluff. If she wants to threaten us, we'll see how she likes it when Sanjar finds out she gave Sublight even more dominion in Stellar Bay. What? Something happened to our stashed bit cards? But I hid it so careful. No one saw me put the lockbox on my balcony. No one goes up there but me. We must be dealing with some sort of criminal mastermind. Well, if we can't afford to skip work, we ain't got no leverage. Space me, but good. I guess you ought to tell Velma we're coming back to work.
Це той сейф якраз, що я на балконі скрив. Ще один балкон. Ай, ладно. Пішли до цього брокера. Знов щось понабирав, блін. Що це за натхнення? А ну, блін. Де воно є? А, та нахер. Якийсь він стрьомний цей шлемак. Блін, що ж мене, блін, перевантажує, блін, йолки-палки, вже впритик. Ця вага, блін, це напрягає жорстко.
What are the chances of all the times and places we could have been born?
Yeah.
Як мені туди попасти, а?
Light years from Earth, going about our lives.
А, блін, це вихід. Задовбали. Ладно. Давайте-ка розкинемо ці очочки. Так, ну цим я не користуюсь, довгоствольне. Ну таке, теж не буду. Візьмемо це, мабуть. Да, по любасу. Тільки скритність візьмемо. О. І ще 2 очка. Блін. Це питаннячко. А, вже майже 60, ну давай. Сюди, о. Так, це є. Це мені так нібито нічого. Ой, блін, щоб це взяти, йо-моє, а. Спробую. Ніфіга собі, блін. Недаремно. Недаремно. Нічого так. Скинуло вагу, блін. Так, все. Що у нас? Поїхали. Так, шукоматка, ясно. Ні, я хотів оцю домашні таємниці. Ясно, за територією. О, це тут. І сімейна справа. Це теж за територією. Давайте цей спочатку зробимо. MSI. Ладно. Блін, здоровенне місто. Однако.
Hey there, Felix. What can I do for you? Poor Isaac. I was wondering why I hadn't seen him in a few days. I'd really like to help. Isaac was a sweet fellow, even if he did have terrible teeth. Right. So the thing with Isaac is he didn't know where to stop. He'd get stuck on something and he just couldn't let it go. Sometimes he'd drink purpleberry punch by the liter. Other times he'd keep betting on a losing team. Started owing the wrong people money. I don't know for sure, but I saw Elijah and his buddies pushing Isaac around. They're hooligans from Fallbrook. They sweep into town, drop supplies off behind the warehouse, and spend the rest of their stay getting rowdy over tossball games. They usually loiter in the alley behind the yacht club. They're not allowed in the bar anymore. I bet you anything Isaac ran into trouble with one of them. Mr. Sanjar will be pleased to hear about it when you're done. I know he gets fed up with the Fallbrook bullies, but there's not much he can do.
Добре. Елайджа. Ага. Ну, пішли, розберемось зразу по ходу справи. Це все на території, так що ще тут я не був в цьому головній будівлі. Елайджа. Не поняв. Як мені до нього дістатись? Наркоторговці, йо-майо, блін. Зараз буде походу стрілянина. Я щось так думаю.
Beat it. Who the fuck are you? This ain't your alley. Beat it.
Who the fuck are you? Ну давай.
Hey, what are you doing here? This is our secret alley.
Пішов ти в
Berna
дупу.
already pissed by those crates to market. Listen, that purple-toothed twerp had it coming. Not that anyone has proof. And not that it's any of your business.
Блін. Треба було. Ах. Ну ладно, давайте чесно спробуємо.
How? That was supposed to go out with the next batch of salt tuna. What are you suggesting, pal?
О, оце нормас.
Wow. Most of the pencil pushers around here cave as soon as you look at them funny. Fine, we're going. This ain't worth it.
Валіть нафіг звідси. А я зараз тут попідчищаю трошки. В таких переулочках щось має бути заникано. Окрім очевидних речей. Да, непогано я так розвантажив собі інвентар. Майже на 100 кг. Так, ну що, ух ти, бля, які в них пушки. А, це ці гранатомети. Це вихід, да? Ясно. Агнес.
Any news, Captain? Have you found my little boy yet?
А, ні. Ще ні. Так, давайте ще квестика якогось зробимо. А, головний офіс, ясно. Це потім. Пішли. А цей Stellar Bay буде побільше, ніж Edgewater. Здорова така, блін, місцевість. Велма. Велма. Ага, ясно.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbows in salt tuna guts.
Gosh, this old girl's in a rough way. Even old Bess in Edgewater was in better shape than this.
Hey, you want to try running a cannery with obsolete machinery? You be my guest.
Sorry, ma'am, I wasn't trying to be rude. It's just, your flanging apparatus isn't making a strong flange, so your sealer isn't sealing right, and...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Huh. I'll have to try that. Anyway, what do you folks need?
А, блін.
I'd give... You're not... Funny how that works out. Thanks for your help. You've gotten me out of a tight spot here. Take this for your efforts. Honest work deserves honest pay. Something else on your mind? Stealing such a... And... We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get the salt tuna. Fat, and mostly tumor-free.
Добре, бувай. Так. А, блін. Не з того боку вийшов. Брокер. Брокер це, походу, на виході, да, ясно. А, це сила. Все, квести залишились. Пішли ще в офіс. А, вот ще тут. В офіс MSI тоді зараз зайдемо. Блін, тут купа продається цих модифікаторів. Що там?
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Що, полазити спочатку? А, то тут і нема де лазити. Такий маленький офіс. Ха! Нічого цікавого. Адміністратор.
I hope your being here means the board is loosening their restrictions.
А ти хто? Ще один адміністратор.
Watch out for iconoclasts. They're almost as bad as the raps.
Ясно. Все з вами. Чувак такий прикольний. Ну що, давай потрепимось.
Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today?
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience with such.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid. Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or a mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really. So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
He's sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff, and some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell. Would you? I'd appreciate that so much. Maybe don't tell him I wanted you to ask, just that you met this really nice lady named Celia, and she seemed... Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work. He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises. You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny. Not in Stellar Bay. Everyone else who isn't taken either smells like salt tuna or they're my boss. Besides, a man with a good smile and a proportionate upper to lower body ratio isn't something to pass up. Sorry, sometimes I get carried away.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself? Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna. Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional, erotic, and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Can't imagine why you'd sneer at the notion of a free colony. Could it be because you're an agent of the establishment?
I used to be young and idealistic too, but you can't run a city on high-minded ideals.
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Try to control yourself, sir.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less. What a question! Bureaucratic micromanagement is the only way anything gets done in Halcyon, and proper documentation is a key part of that. For our part, a bill of liquidation/transfer Form 52 will protect our holdings on Monarch by temporarily assigning them to a pass-through entity once we drop our bomb on the board.
Wait, we're dropping a bomb on the board?
Sort of. Really, we're just going to blackmail them into offering us a seat at the table.
But really, whatever gets you excited about the idea, it's definitely a firm middle finger.
I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is operating on Monarch, illegally and in secret.
Is it really illegal if the board's the one that makes the rules in the first place?
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our Bolt 52 and reinstate us on the board. If someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are. That's part of the problem. She has certain ambitions for Stellar Bay, and I fear my asking her would give her the leverage she's been looking for.
Don't get yourself worked up, sir. It's perfectly natural to have a healthy fear of her.
We really don't need to discuss this now, Celia. Once you, subtly work out where this corporate facility might be, bring back proof of its operation. Maybe some nice letterhead. Or someone working there. That would do it. A foolproof plan if I ever heard one. I'll leave the execution to you. Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes. I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws. Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2, but back then it was known as Terra 1. As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out. Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
I hope you'd treat them nice whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right because it's the right thing to do.
Word of advice, Sanjar. If Parvati's got something to say, you do well to listen close.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. No, they laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws.
Your first mistake was expecting the board to cut you a fair deal.
I understand the sentiment, but if we can't rely on some sort of framework, then what do we have? I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently. Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Yeah, and once you go back to him, they'll own your dignity too.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation. I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship. Indeed. I've discovered it's much easier to negotiate from a position of power. And I don't mean to leave MSI or its people at a disadvantage. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
Well, I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments. Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way. What can I do for you? This has been my albatross. The great shame of my career. I give MSI everything. My work, my youth, my left kidney, and for years, I was a joke to them. One of the executives required a transplant. I thought volunteering to donate might improve my prospects. Apparently not. In charge of a scrap heap of a city. Abandoned by the board and surviving only through the hypocrisy of our trading partners. I hadn't thought of it that way. But perhaps there's something to that. Thank you for that. Was there something else? But that's terrible. What happened? I'm glad to hear you've dealt with them. They've been causing quite a bit of trouble around town. I've been consumed with other matters of late, but I would have dealt with them. Eventually. Of course I would have. Still, your intervention in the matter is much appreciated. Please consider this payment for your services.
Добре, дядько, бувай. Коротше, ті MSI такі самі, типа як дезертири з Еджвотера від колегії, я так зрозумів. Але щось там дуже багато цих термінів юридичних. Так, давайте ще один рівень нам підняли. У нас, походу, залишились квести всі за територією цього комплексу. Так, що у нас є? О, вже майже 60. На наступному левелі одразу 2 навика буде в мене 60. Зараз, я думаю, це не є критичним. Блін, а отут що робити? Це вже питання. Це точно. Це таке не потрібно воно мені. Це можна. Ще медицину. І інженерію. О, більш-менш баланс соблюдаємо. Ну що? Романтичні справи.
You look like a woman who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts. Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days, but I've been meaning to ask her how that Raptidon acid is working out. I hope it's working okay, because no one else really seems interested in this stuff. Wait, I see what's going on. She put you up to this so she could get a discount, hmm?
Oh, no, that's not it at all. She's smitten with you. You smited her. Smote? Smoot?
Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. Always talks nice and slow, so I understand. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no one else having any use for Raptidon tongues.
Mm-hmm.
You sound pretty sure. And she is awful nice.
Give her a chance. Give yourself a chance. Take her someplace nice.
Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift ends, we'll go someplace nice. Maybe to Chef Raymond's.
That's the spirit, Sebastian. Be yourself. Between you and me, Captain, I'm not sure Miss Celia knows him too well, but we can hope, right? I want them to be happy.
Стісняшки. Скромняшки.
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? What did he say? Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound excited? Or like he was just agreeing to it? Was he like, yay, a date with Celia. I've secretly been waiting for this. Or was it more, sure, I don't have anything else going on. Not to worry. If I never buy another Raptidon tongue, it'll be too soon. Ah, look at me going on. I'm sure you've got other things to do, and Mr. Nandi's giving me that back-to-work look. Anyhow, thank you.
Нема за що. Радий допомогти. Так. З цим є. Головний квест. Все за територією. Ну і ладно, пішли. Почнемо. Знайдемо того чувачка і завалимо цю королеву цих жуків, мать їх туди. І буде, мабуть, на сьогодні все. Бо я з тою королевою, думаю, буду возитись довго. Ого, скільки маслати, але це головний. Ні, головний ми залишимо. Почнемо з цього. Теж далеко. Ха-ха, собацюра дика. Як не крути туди перти. О, ніфіга собі, всі квести там. Не всі. А, це на корабель. О! Пішли. Близенько. І знову ніч, да що ж таке? Ах ти скотиняка, блін. Ти де це тут намалювався вже? 1, 2, 3. 3. Цей, походу... Блін. А, ще один надає. Мочіть їх. Тю, блін. Це і все? Якісь лашпети мені. Гребані лашпети. Так. Їх там 4 було, кажись. О, вже перегруз. А де ще 1? 2. А, во. Все, є контакт. О, це непогана штуковина. А, і то, блін, візьмемо цей. О, оце цей шлімак прикольний такий. Подобається мені. Алло. О, тут можна наверх зайти. І що? Це що за фігня в нього? Шприса, блін. Ясно. О! А, я думав, блін, світає вже. Ну тут то було. Так, є якась вражина є. Хто там, блін? А, це хреновина, блін. Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй! На тобі, блін. На, блін, я навіть не встигаю за ними, валять так, що шмайка загортається. Охренеть, він. Недаремно їм типу кулеметики подавав. Трупаки. Майже прийшли. Що, мені в цю диру надо? Чи що? А. Ну давай.
A visitor? What an unexpected surprise! Please, come in. Come in.
We're armed to the teeth? What's he gonna do? Kill us with generosity?
That's the spirit. Now come in. Make yourselves comfortable. Excellent. You've arrived at just the right time. My wife is putting the finishing touches on dinner. Please, make yourself at home until it's ready.
I think I just lost my appetite.
Ну і чо?
Oh, hello there. You come for dinner? That's nice. We had someone else over a week ago or yesterday. I forget. It just gets hard to remember things. I recall moments, feelings, but the details slip.
I felt like that after my dad passed. Walked around in a haze for weeks. I'm sorry you're feeling that way too.
Other times it's like there's fog. Sorry, have we talked about this before? That's nice of you. I usually feel better after I eat. Mama said dinner's almost ready, huh?
Ну, а де мама? А, вон. О, в них є де полазити.
What a pleasant surprise. And just when I was beginning to fear we'd seen the last of good company for a spell. Yet the Eternal provides, does it not? And who could? Stretch out your hand and cosmic divinity reaches back. Open wide your mouth and the universe provides sustenance. Just that your presence here is a gift to us, and one that we don't take for granted. Look at me, prattling on as if this gravy is going to cook itself. Why don't you run along until we are ready for dinner?
Типа треба почекати, доки вони зготують. Блін, скільки їх тут. Ну давай ламанем. А, блін, це вихід. Десь щось тут має бути.
Hey, what are you doing in my room?
Да нічого.
Liar! You're trying to steal the last of my rocket candies, aren't you? The ones that come in a bottle with a rocket ship on it. Like the other man used to bring. I'm not telling you.
Ха. Ладно, не буду. Бачу, якась вона агресивна.
Spacer's choice pills that cure all your ills.
Якісь вони тут стрьомні всі, блін. В цьому будинку. Більше ні хрена й немає. Зараз палить мене.
I am
Ого.
so glad I skipped lunch.
Я ж казав, що стрьомні. Угу. Зараз, походу, ще й воювати прийдеться. Хочеться якось полюбовно розрулити конфлікт. А де вона ділась?
But what's this? You're tracking blood into the kitchen. Oh dear. You've been nosy, haven't you?
Так. Каннибал? Нифига себе, даже так.
Of course not. What better end for the day than a meal around the family table? And what more noble purpose for you than to bring us together?
О, брехня 40.
Now there's an intriguing prospect. Forgo the promise of a fine dinner now for others down the road. Martha, my dear, what do you say?
It seems the Eternal shall provide through our new friend.
And there we have it. Stop by any time, hmm?
Блін, довбані канібали, а? Ти бачиш чи ні? Ну,
I have no doubt the Eternal will bless
Nice to meet you.
us through you.
все, вже не активний.
Found us any...
Space, there's choice pills, they cure all your
А,
ills.
придурки, блін, а? Так, ну до Велми ми потім сходимо, зараз ми ще один квестик закриємо. Блін, срана ніч, взагалі ніхрена не видно, йо-моє. Ой, блін, яка хреновина, а. Навіть не бачу, куди бігти, блін. Коротше, йдемо десь поспимо, блін. Як в якійсь хатині. Я не бачу нічого, блін. Задовбали. А, вон, в церквушці зараз кімарнемо. Якщо тут є де, блін. На лавочці, блін. От фігня, а. А, во, чудово. Пару годин. 6. І що? Знов ніч, як завжди. О, ха-ха. Клас. Це вже я розумію. Що, побігли трошки повоюємо. Так, а повоюємо ми. Якийсь він безпонтовий. А, ну да, трохи. Трохи краще. Так, ясно, з цим все ясно. Stellar Bay. Ні, це потім сімейна справа. Да. Ну, давайте на сімейну справу. Ні, а де той типок, що цей? Де він? А, ну да, це воно. Ну, блін, що, пішли? Пів кілометра маслати. Ну це вже точно все буде на сьогодні. О, типок, да? Точно. Що типок? Там в них є бочка чи немає? А, є, да. О, якийсь главарь. Бляха!
I've been waiting for this. Nobody messes with you, boss.
Так. Ніфіга собі!
Doing all right?
Оце дають типи, блін. Я навіть не встиг роздуплити, що до чого, блін. Чувак з кулемета, блін. Забомбив їх. Ідіоти. Так, главарь. Главарь дохлий теж. Хто там? Ага. Мочіть їх. Та ти шо, блін? Оце пушки, блін. Охренеть можна, блін. Я просто в захваті. Да. Треба було ізначально на ту королеву взяти кулемети. Так, ще два. Ясно. Ну давай завалимо їх теж. Нехер там на сонечку грітися. Oh, it's cool. Майже вже прийшов. Де він там, блін, не бачу його. Мені навіть тут інша зброя не потрібна. З цими типами моїми. 3000 патронів можна шмаляти. Так. Ага. Хтось є. А, тю, блін. Да. Весело, блин. Це весело було. Це куди? Ага. Ну да. Сходимо, подивимось. Головне, що ці точки швидкого пересування є зразу. Да, ну з патронами тут перебор. Тут, походу, з усім перебор. Я так бачу. Це фігня. О, оце нормально. Сюди можна зайти. Херушки. Ясно. Ні, то ні. Походу потім по квесту сюди зайдемо. Як в Fallout двері бункера. Так, он ще бачу двері. Відкриті будівлі — це дуже добре. Жратва. Да. Все, блін, порожнє, нікого немає. Запечатано. Запечатано. Не туди. Стопе, щось я заплутався, мальок. А, во, все вірно. Кислотні рослини, блин. Оп-по-по-по. Ніхрена собі. Ніхрена собі.
Best there ever was.
Що там таке? А, блін, це мої, я думаю, що за нахер. Нормально. Щось якось вже з цими кулеметами легко гра пішла. Аж занадто. Все, я на місці. А далі що? А, далі буде в наступних серіях. Зараз тут полутаємось. Трішечки. Трішечки полутаємось. Поліцейський шолом. О. Да, на початку гри я шукав ці патрони для важкого озброєння, блін. Поштучно шукав, блін. А зараз... Ембер Хайтс. Все, є точка швидкого пересування. Мабуть, давайте
Well, hello, and welcome to the home of the iconoclasts. I'm Rose. Please take a pamphlet. In it, you'll find everything you need to know about Graham, his philosophist truths, and the iconoclast way. He wrote it himself, you know. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting. We're out of pamphlets. Gosh, blast it.
Вже щось хочуть впарити нам.
Why, we're the
це
only
ці
free people in
іконоборці.
Альціон. No corporations, no shackles, no problems. Oh, those are just hurdles. We deal with them as they come. You're welcome to stay with us, so long as you can earn your keep. That's a nice way to think about it. Graham would be our father. I suppose Zora might make a good mother if the two of them could stop arguing. You can think of those two as our leaders, but they're more like examples. We all ought to be more like them. Why, he's our founder. Graham taught us about philosophism. Through him, we came to the eternal truth. I'm glad you're asking, by the way. I hope you'll consider staying.
Мабуть, не залишуся з вами, друзі.
She's been with us since the beginning. I think she was our sawbones back then, but now she's more like our commander. She goes and finds people in the wilderness and gets them to come here. And she keeps us from being chewed on and whatnot. She's liable to take your head off if you screw up, but then she'll sew it back on for you. Graham's place is in the large building straight back. Zora's sometimes there talking with him, but usually she's in the triage clinic next door. Oh, Graham settled here a long time ago. Shoot, I wish I had a pamphlet to give you. It's all in there. I wasn't around back then, but they say a lot of the old MSI corporate folks died here. He calls it a spiritual metaphor, something about rising from the ashes. The new boy! Yes, he's quite clever. He took to our teachings very quickly. Last I saw him, he was headed into one of the buildings up the hill.
Так, ясно. Оце, я так розумію, надовго. Що тут, велика локація? Ну і добре. Все, друзі. Дякую всім за увагу. У мікрофона був, як завжди, Торстейн. І це було проходження зовнішніх світів. Побачимо ми вже незабаром у наступній серії. Наразі я з вами прощаюсь. Не забувайте, підписуйтесь на канал, ставте вподобайки, коментуйте, тисніть дзвоник, щоб не пропускати виходи нових серій. Ну, а я бажаю вам всіх благ і нам мирного неба. Все буде Україна. Пока-пока.